Okay, today we are going to learn how to find a missing side of a right triangle. So again, you guys did this in Algebra 1, Geometry. Some of you, we went over this in before the ACT. So if I ask you for this side and I have a right triangle, I want to determine what ratio, sine, cosine, tangent, I should use to solve for that side. So I always look at the angle that I'm given. And then I figure out if I look at that, that's across from. So that's opposite. That side is the hypotenuse. They didn't ask me anything about the adjacent. I don't need it. So I decide, well, what trig function uses opposite and hypotenuse? Sine. So I'm going to set up the sine of 25 degrees is 8 over x. I put that over 1 and I cross multiply. So if you think that's going to be 8 equals the sine of 25 times x. So to get x on a side by itself, 8 divided by the sine of 25 degrees. On an ACT, that's really all you would do. On a test, any other test, you're going to put that in a calculator. You will see on the playlist, I did do a link for the Desmos graphing and scientific. You would just want to use the scientific for this if you didn't have your own. If I give you an assignment in Delta Math, there is a calculator there, but pay very close attention to what they say to round to, or else they'll count it wrong. So, second one. If I gave you this side triangle, I look at that angle. This side compared to that angle is adjacent. That side is hypotenuse. What trig function uses adjacent over hypotenuse? Cosine. So I'm going to set up the cosine of 40 degrees is adjacent over hypotenuse. Put that over 1, cross multiply. If x is on the top, it's always x times 1, so it's x. This would be 15 times the cosine of 40 degrees. Put that in a calculator, get the decimal. So the other big question that you're going to be asked is solve a triangle. So the issue with these is people will say to me they don't know where to start. So if I gave you that triangle and I said that's little a, that's side B, that's side C. If I ask you to solve the triangle, I want everything found. There are 6 parts of a triangle, 3 sides, 3 angles. You have 1. I have to tell you 2 more. So if I said to you, angle A is 32 degrees, side B is 10. You would have that. You would have side B. So solve the triangle means find everything else. So you're missing angle B. You're missing side A, side C. Easiest one to find is the angle, because you know, I hope, the angles of a triangle are 180 degrees added up. So you have a 90, no matter what. Those 2 have to add to the other 90. So easiest way is just take 90 minus 32. That gives you 58 degrees. So now the issue is, what one do you find first? Doesn't matter. It's your choice. So let's say you want to find A. Well, you got to use this and one of the angles. You could have put that B in there. Me, I just use what I have. So I say, okay, I'm going to find A. If I look at this angle, That's opposite. That's adjacent. That's tangent. So I would do the tangent of 32 is A over 10. Now, if you were different and you were like, oh, I'm going to find C first. Well, you'd have to use this and that or the other angle. So you would say, oh, cosine of 32 is 10 over C. Find that side. I didn't find that side. So once I find one of the sides, what I would then do to find the other side is just use Pythagorean theorem. And you will get decimals for these. So you're not supposed to have reduced radicals. Decimals are what you want. Okay? Word problems. The thing with word problems that you want to make sure you understand, angle of elevation and angle of depression. So angle of elevation is you looking up at something. So if you're standing here and you're looking at the top of a flagpole, your angle of elevation is at you. Depression would be you're at the top of a hill and you're looking down at something somewhere, a person down here. Angle of depression is actually outside the triangle because your head, when it looks down, that is outside. But you know about parallel lines and alternate interior angles. So actually the angle of depression, if you draw your triangle like this, is down here because these two things are the same. So you do the problem the same way. I'm looking at the flagpole. My angle of elevation is 51 degrees. I'm standing 20 feet away from the flagpole. How high is the flagpole? I look at that angle. That's opposite. That's adjacent. I set up tangent. I cross multiply. X is the tangent of 51 degrees times 20. If you're someone with a graphing calculator and you're using your own, make sure you're in degrees and not radians. So how you do that is you press mode towards the top left. Make sure that you'll see rad, DEG. Make sure you set it to degrees or else you will get all the wrong answers. Okay, that's our lesson for today.